Hello team, today's challenge is tally counter, where we're given a string that looks like this or this or this, and we need to count the number of tally marks. Tally marks are the pipe symbol for four of them, and then a forward slash for the fifth marker. That's how we know that it's a group of five, because it should end with that slash. It actually kind of looks like if you did this sort of thing, right? Where you have the four fingers and the slash with your thumb. But what do I know, right? It's kind of weird like that. Getting this done is pretty quick. Okay, we can just go in here. We could do a replace just like this, replacing on what? Well, it's going to be anything that is a space, right? We're going to replace all the spaces with emptiness and then the length, and that works, right? We could also take this, commenting that out and leaving it here. We're going to change this to a match. If we wanted to, we could change this to a pipe and a slash. We don't need to escape any of them because, strangely enough, they are, and I have this going the wrong way, don't I? There it is, right? Inside of these square brackets, this character class, they are protected. So you don't need to escape them or anything like that. I mean, you still could if you wanted to. You don't really need to though, right? And then of course, grabbing that length, and that still works. Great. So we've solved it very, very quickly. But the question is, what if they throw us different data, right? We haven't really, this one checks for it. So we're only counting the tally marks. But what if we went back to our first one and it was, say, the alphabet, right? Just A to Z, right? Well, then our length would be 26 because we've only gotten rid of the spaces, right? There's extra stuff in there. Or what happens if we go back here as an example, and instead of putting the slash at the end, we put the slash in the middle, or we make a whole group of slashes, right? Does that fit the format? Does that fit the theme? And or if we accidentally put like an A in the middle of this, right? I would hazard a guess that that is not what we should be expecting. And if it doesn't match this format, this intended format of being 5 with a space, ending with a set number of characters, then we should throw an error, right? So for that, we need a little bit more advanced regular expression, right? We're going to build that out. That's going to be regular expression right here. It's going to be the slashes, and we are going to go from the beginning to the end. So we're going to test the whole string. Okay. Now inside of here, we're going to grab onto a full set, a full set of data, which is the pipe. Now inside of regular expression, the pipe is an OR character, so we need to escape that. Okay. And we want 4 of those, right? So here's 4. And then we want the forward slash, but you can see that breaks things, right? We obviously need to escape that. So we need that escape character, and then we need a space. And you could do /s or space, whatever you want. And we want 0 or more of those. So there's a star in here, okay? That's our first set. This allows us to capture all of this right here. I think it actually captures the one before it, but it can capture all these proper sets of tally marks, okay? Then we need to capture the end tally marks right here. These ones at the end, right? For lack of a better word. So for that, we add in another regular expression. So after the asterisk right here, capturing again, and it's going to use parts of the same thing. We grab all of this, not including that space character, moving it over, putting it in here. That's going to be the first one, right? Because we're either ending with a full set, or we're ending with just pipe marks, which is the, we need the backslash and the pipe. And then we need 1, 2, 4 of those, okay? And to finish it off, we want 0 or 1 of those. So that is the catch. And apparently I've been spelling const wrong this whole time. I failed to see the error, but this is where we are, right? We test for everything up to and including the last set. That's what this does. So we're looking for full sets of tally marks, And then the last set, right before the dollar, right before the end of this, we're either going to get a full set of data, that's what this is, or we're just going to get 1 to 4 pipes, okay? And that's going to be our whole thing, which means that down here we can actually test that. If re.test on that string, we want this to be the opposite because we don't want it to catch. So if it doesn't catch, then throw new error, just like this, and tossing in double quotes because I need a single quote in here for doesn't match. And it still works. Why does it still work? Well, because we don't match on this, right? And we don't have any bad data. But this should do it. So this right here, if we jump over to CodePen, where I have pretty much that exact same thing, I left a space in here. If I wanted to, I could change that to an S, right? Just like this, and clear it out and run it. And what you'll find is that the first 5 are the tests from before, so 4, 5, 8, 17, 41. But then I have some that have an error. So this is a pipe slash, 2 pipe slash, 3 pipe slash. This one has an A in it. This one has a slash in the wrong place. This one is all slashes for this tally set, right? And they all don't match, which is exactly what we want. So if they throw us bad data, we throw an error. If we get the data that we expect, these first 5, which were what FreeCodeCamp has as their test, right, the happy path, then we return a result, right? So this is where I would leave it today. I would question whether or not we just want to count up the tallies in whatever order they are, or whatnot. That's a conversation to have with your product manager or your project manager. But for today, I'm throwing an error because I am testing the whole thing. So really quickly, we came up with 2 strategies for getting the count. 2 very simple strategies where we can either count what we expect to be tally marks, or we just remove all the spaces and count everything that's left, depending on what we're doing. And then we took it a step further and tested our data ahead of time to make sure that it was exactly what we expected, right? In case they decide to put something special in there, right? We shouldn't just trust user data, user input without some sort of a test. And that's what this is doing today. Again, not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you find it surprising? Did you go a different way? Let me know all that stuff in the comments. Otherwise, today this has been Tally Counter, and I will see you tomorrow.